Can I get a couple of 1-2s, please? Sort of thing.
1, 2,
Check
1, 2,
1-2.
1, 2.
Syphilis.
1-2.
Syphilis.
Nice.
1-2.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Thank you.
The
1,
big
2.
Sif, bro. Who doesn't have syphilis? You know who else has syphilis?
Doesn't have syphilis.
What an excellent start to the show. So what is up, everyone? Welcome back to, I guess, the VR Link sort of episode. Today, we're going to be talking about the latest Oculus bit of news, which was version 28, which is bringing a lot of stuff. One of them in particular was AirLink, which I wanted to discuss with these guys. We have got Wes and Roots from Virtual Strangers podcast. And we also have Alex VR and Skiva from Between Realities. How you doing, guys? You good?
Yeah, great,
Awesome,
man.
dude.
Thanks.
Woo!
Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, so let's just quickly hit this off. Oculus said today we're announcing features that will begin rolling out soon in the version 28 software update to Oculus Quest headsets. Oculus AirLink is a wireless way to play PC VR games on Quest 2. Now, one of the things I saw was people worrying about not being able to access Steam. But to me, if they're writing PC VR, that's the whole bag. Yeah? Do you think that, or...
Yeah, this was a common concern back when they first announced Oculus Link, the wired link, and it wasn't long before they started supporting Steam VR with that. So I got to imagine the AirLink's going to do just the same.
Do you know what, though? When someone said that to me on Twitter, I thought that'd be quite... I guess it's not a great idea, but if a lot of games on Quest are cross-buy and the Quest is the platform you're pushing, then it would kind of be a thing to do. It's not off the list, is it? To basically lock down your communities to, or your ecosystem to say, right, you've got to stay on Oculus stuff. So yeah, and the next feature, which I think is amazing personally, is the 120 hertz coming. Are you guys looking forward to that?
Yeah, 120 hertz on a $300 headset.
I know, man.
Insanity.
I'm looking forward to Population 1 or any game, like any game that you have a high headroom graphically, and especially in a shooter that you can, those frames are going to matter, right? I think Pop 1 or any shooter like that is going to be amazing. And just the thought that all these people that have strutted around saying that the wireless Vive Pro is just as good as the Quest 2. I don't know. Can the Vive Pro go to 120 hertz? I don't think so, right?
No, and it's an interesting thing to note here with the 120 hertz as well is that at least at launch, this is only a standalone feature. Like the PC VR functionality through Link and AirLink will be limited to 90 hertz, at least for right now. So it's another one of these things that we see happen all the time that in some rare cases makes the standalone versions of cross-platform games better than the PC version.
So how do you feel about the fact that Quest 1 now, this is a Quest 2 feature, isn't it? The original Quest is not going to be supporting AirLink. That's a whole conversation I wanted to get into. Was basically that is kind of semi-shutting down the Quest. It's not in their future interest anymore. If you was an original Quest owner, you'd probably be thinking, shit, like it's pretty clear now that this isn't going to be happening. So yeah, and then obviously you got for me, kind of like the gaming death of virtual desktop. I know there's a lot of great features on it, and the reason I say gaming is because it does a lot more than just gaming, virtual desktop, obviously. But yeah, what are your thoughts on what's going to happen with virtual desktop?
Well, I mean, I particularly think that that competition is good, and this is just going to foster more motivation for GigoDen going forward to incorporate features that Oculus doesn't include. I know yesterday I had a difficult time trying to play multiplayer with my daughter because one of my headsets was a Oculus headset, and then the other one was the Quest, and there was no way for us to party chat among them. There's no Discord integration. There's no Twitch integration. I mean, there's a lot of headroom here for features to be enabled through an app like Virtual Desktop. So I think that something like this will just motivate him. He's already demonstrated the guy's a wizard. He can accomplish a lot. So I'm interested to see what the next iteration of Virtual Desktop is going to look like.
You know what I think is crazy is why didn't Facebook scoop this guy up, right? Like I would have thought like originally that Guy Gooden would have been bought and paid for by Oculus, and they would have brought him in, and wow, he made the Link wireless already, right? And he did a fantastic job. The colors look better. Everything looks better through virtual desktop wireless if you have the right setup, right? But now we're going native to Oculus, and I really hope that they don't try to lock it down to the Oculus ecosystem. And I know they didn't with the wired version, so I'm hoping they don't with the wireless. But, the Oculus doesn't have the best track record when it comes to things like, taking other people's ideas and kind of pushing them out the door. So fingers crossed.
That's what he said. That's what Guy said right in the interview. Is he literally said that he's not really too worried about it. He's got some exciting features. I think what Wes was saying, he's going to provide something that the Oculus version can't. For one, it's stable right now. I don't know how stable the AirLink's going to be right off the bat, and maybe he makes it work even better. Maybe it works better than the AirLink. Maybe it's got better fidelity, or who knows what they can do for it. So I definitely think that there's room. I'm not too worried about it. I think competition is key. And just his response and being so confident about it. He said he's been through it before, and Oculus has a habit of doing that. And Wes has mentioned this recently a few times on our show. They're going through lawsuits for this exact thing. So like right now, from Facebook's perspective, is not the time to start like stirring stuff up, right? They're probably trying to.
But you're talking about Facebook and lawsuits, and all that is about is money. So they have got quite a bit of money. So maybe they just like, yeah, we'll take this one on, and then we'll take the next one on, and we'll just keep bulldozing our way through other people's technologies or something,
Well, here's the other thing too. It's like, when people are new to VR, it needs to be as simple as possible, right? And if somebody asks the question like, hey, this Oculus Quest 2, wow, a standalone headset, it looks so awesome, does it work wirelessly with my computer? And you're like, well, yeah, but that's a whole different conversation than yes. That's what they're doing with all of this stuff. That's what they've done with the fitness tracker. That it's like, oh, does this track my fitness? Well, yeah, but you have to go to side quest. No. Yes, it does. It's called, Oculus Move or whatever. And it's the same with this. It's like the answer now is yes, not yes, but. And I think that makes sense as they're trying to onboard people into virtual reality and making the process a lot simpler. So I think it's good. And then to Wes's point, absolutely will spark Guy to add something to his program that Oculus isn't offering. So it'll just turn more people onto virtual desktop when they realize that they are being hindered by features that are otherwise accessible somewhere else.
In the unlikely event that they decide not to support Steam VR, this would be just one more feature that virtual desktop would have over the native AirLink. So I really don't expect that to be the case. I expect it to work with Steam VR fairly relatively soon if it doesn't work just right off the bat. There's a reason why Dirt Rally 2 costs $5 on Steam and it's $50 on the Oculus Store, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's because Steam Store, a lot of people go to Steam Store because of those deals. Do you know what I mean? And nearly all the keys you get are Steam keys. I think the Quest, though, I think it's another thing of dominance. It's going to be very hard not to recommend a Quest in the future. And, like HTC are coming out with what we think might be a consumer headset. It better be a bloody consumer headset with all the teasing, because people are, especially Skiva, they want competition. They want a non-Facebook headset out there. And that's the thing. It's not Oculus. It was just that the Facebook thing was getting involved with Facebook. But yeah, dude, I take it you're going to be scooping this up straight away if HTC bring out a standalone.
Oh, absolutely. I'm all over it, man. I'm definitely, all about, I would rather pay the extra money up front, and not kind of be the product, you know what I mean? But I don't know of any other way that any company could get their headsets down to $299. $299 for a Quest 2 with all of this crazy technology, AirLink out of the box now, and just, they have all kinds of things that have been leaked kind of recently, like Guardian intrusion detection and all of these cool things. And they're really getting quite the head start here. It's going to be really hard for companies like HTC to come in and kind of match them feature for feature, right? When HTC has a hard enough time kind of getting their tracking going. I'm really, kind of wondering how the tracking is going to be on the headset. That's my main concern, I think. But I'm
Or
definitely going to get one.
ASW.
Yep.
ASW. Oculus has proven one thing is they know what they're doing, like you said, with their software and everything they do. That's one of the reasons why I stuck with Oculus. Is because you just have a more stable experience. Kind of, to me, it's kind of like having Intel versus AMD. You know, AMD can really be an amazing chip, but stability wise, you may run into problems. You might not, you know, but it's a possibility.
I absolutely agree with that, because Oculus is a bit like putting on a baseball hat kind of thing. Just you're in, and it's all there, and you know, you're in like lovely environments. It's not boring to look at straight away. It's all really cool, and they know how to work. I think social media as well. You know, when they chuck out these updates, all the channels are like mega fantastic, incredible lightning update, and it'll be like you can see your couch. Now, to me personally, I'm like, that is not important, but
Same.
they see how that works, you know, and they drop these little often updates, you know. What are we on, version 28? That potentially means someone out there has made 28 update videos, for example, you know, and it works, and it gains traction, and it gets views, and Oculus is then once again trending, you know, and plus they're putting out their adverts all the time. Then they're not stupid. They're obviously very good at what they're doing. What about the bring your desk into VR feature? Are any of you ever going to make use of that? It looks amazing, but Steve, are you going to be using that?
Oh, for sure, man. So back in the day, you know, when the Quest 1 came out and virtual desktop was a big thing, you know, right off the bat, dude, I was in there 12 hours a day working my entire shifts in my original Quest. My face still hurts. No.
Yeah, that's torture.
Something about having just a huge screen, you know, like a movie theater type, you know, style screen where, you know, you can see everything so well, and it just works really, really good. And I'm super stoked for this. I you know, they have to get to the point though where you can stream your desktop. I mean, that's a huge thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
And I think that, you know, while I'm not doing a lot of work, you know, professional work in VR, I do, you know, create a lot of content, and it would be really awesome if I didn't have to take my headset off every time I want to type something, because the in-headset floating keyboard is just so terrible and difficult to use. So yeah, I think it'll be a great functionality when there's a wider selection of keyboards that are supported, because at launch they're only doing the one Logitech keyboard, which I do have a wireless Logitech keyboard, but it's not the one, right? That one costs like $100. So I won't be picking that up. But if there's a wider compatibility, and you can use you know, a fairly budget keyboard with it, then yeah, I'll absolutely make use of the feature.
In case anyone ever is listening, the Logitech K830 is currently the only keyboard that is supported.
Wizardry.
it does. I wonder.
So
what it
it's
takes
just
to
tracked
get-
in there. You can just
Yeah,
pick
it's
it up and
tracked
move it
keyboard.
around. It's
Yep.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, I wonder what it takes to get other keyboards working, right? I mean, you would think that, you know, if they can recognize all these things around your room, that eventually they'll be able to recognize any keyboard. And I hope that's the case, because it really looks cool, you know, being able to use the hand tracking and seeing the keyboard in the environment with you. So awesome.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I noticed about this Logitech keyboard specifically is that it is it is backlit, right? So it's not just a basic keyboard. The letters and everything are shining, so that I'm sure that makes it much easier for the Quest to track the button configuration.
So while we're going back, I want to go back to the wireless thing again. Everyone here's used virtual desktop. Everyone's paid for virtual desktop, and they use it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how would you say
All
that
the time.
compares to the
Love it.
Link? How would you say that compares to Oculus Link?
Well, I mean, it's been a back and forth thing throughout the history of Link and virtual desktop. There have been periods where one has worked better than the other, and then it'll swap for a while. But for the most part, I think that the virtual desktop experience is superior to Link, especially when you're talking about visually. You know, people talk a lot about compression artifacts, which I think artifacts isn't really an effective way to describe it. There is a bit of background noise when you're dealing with the wired link, but when you're talking about virtual desktop, really, as long as you have a PC that can handle you jacking the settings up. It's pretty close to a native PC headset with regards to quality.
No, we all just played Swarm, right? We've all played Swarm. We played the first time I played it was wirelessly on the Quest 2 because that's the key they gave us. Recently tried to play it linked, and it was good and it looked amazing. But I played it wirelessly today, and that game needs to be wireless, right? And it looked so good, and it was so phenomenal. And I was breaking records or scores. I don't feel like there was any difference. Like they've nailed it. Our Guy's nailed this thing, right? And I guarantee that's one of the things that I get excited because I think Oculus is going to do a good job with the Link, and I think Guy is going to do what he's done every time, and he's going to, because this conversation's happened before, man. Guy, dude, you're done, bro. Virtual Desktop's done 2017. And he came back and he made such an amazing product that everyone was like, whoa, okay, we were wrong. I think people are going to be wrong again now.
I hope so. I've always had an amazing experience. Yeah, I'd say about 90% of the time, I have a better experience in virtual desktop than I do with Link, mostly because of the wires gone, right? I don't have to worry about turning and pulling it out of my computer. I don't have to, worry about the Link software crashing, but virtual desktop just works so well. And then when they implemented that game launcher, it was just great, so the more Guy is able to add different features, maybe things to have multiple displays at the same time. And, if he could make a co-op thing, even better, right? If I could have someone come in and use my machine with me, that would be incredible. But we'll see what's going to happen.
That'd be crazy. I just think it's such a smart move, and I think virtual reality wireless is definitely the future. Like once you've experienced PC VR fidelity wirelessly, that is that was one of the. I haven't had many wow moments in VR for a while, but virtual desktop with that fidelity and that minimal lag, I was like, dude, this is incredible. It's just, it literally made my jaw want to drop. I'm like, fucking hell, this is amazing. And I really hope, and seeing this today, it's good news, but I felt at the same time, I was like looking through it and no one was mentioning virtual desktop. And in my mind, I was thinking, is this like the end of virtual desktop? But you guys think it's not. You guys think it'll continue.
I just from his just from the interview that he did with Guy did with Upload, just his confidence. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like he's coming out swinging and he wasn't. It sounds like to me this isn't shocking to him. He knew this was coming, and so he's prepared. He's been preparing for whatever he's about to release, and so I think it's good for VR. And then what Alex was saying is exactly the main point is now they can definitively say, Oculus can say, yeah, we do have wireless PC VR out of the box. You don't have to buy anything. It's the stepping stone to that next level once it comes out of beta, where that's just going to be a feature. And hopefully for HTC's case, they have something similar if it is a wireless headset. So.
Do you think virtual desktop's going to have the bandwidth to push 120 hertz? I really hope so, because I feel like if I can get 120 hertz wireless PC VR with my Quest, there will be almost no reason to ever pick up my Index again.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I'll point out too that the timing of the initial leak of this, a month or two ago, was curious, right? Because it was just a few days prior to that Sony had revealed the specs for PlayStation VR 2, and they were being hit hard in the press and on all the message boards for it not being wireless. And then all of a sudden, here comes Boz through the social media with this wink and a nudge that this AirLink's on the way, 120 hertz is on the way, and here it is. So I think the fact that this stuff does work out of the box, it's a big thing. I don't think they'd be bringing it out now if it wasn't ready. They've been hinting at this as long as Quest has been a thing. They've been talking about this functionality. So as great as virtual desktop works, I don't think they'd be bringing AirLink if it wasn't that good or better. So I'm excited to see how it works, day one.
Yeah, I don't know if 120... Do you think 120 hertz be supported straight away?
No, that won't be. But I think that we could see it on virtual desktop soon, especially for people who have like a Wi-Fi 6 router, which I do not have. But if you've got proper equipment, I think that the launch of AirLink, the competition between AirLink and virtual desktop, could lead to virtual desktop supporting this feature next, which will only then push Oculus to support it not that long down the road.
Makes me think about if HTC, for example, with their new headset, brought out a new standalone headset and said, yeah, he's capable of wireless, but you had to buy an adapter or something.
That's exactly what they would do.
I do what, yeah, exactly. And I kind of expected that from Oculus, to be honest. I was always expecting that extra bit of peripheral, that extra bit of money. And to be fair, if it was a smooth, consistent experience, I would actually pay a certain amount of money, because like the link cable, for example, I've tried other cables, but for certain reasons, the link cable is the best cable. It's just flexible. I've run over the thing so many times on my chair. It just doesn't go wrong. And I've had other cables that you bend a little bit and they're like, meh, and Oculus doesn't like it. And I mean, what else could you announce?
That image of the headset, like with a cloth over it on the desk at HTC headquarters?
Yes.
Doesn't look huge, man. It looks pretty small, and that thing looks wireless to me. It's just cloth covered sitting there on top of a desk.
And don't forget, guys, that the Pico Neo 2 supported wireless desktop streaming right out of the box years ago, right? So like,
Wow,
I feel like this has got to be a thing coming for the HTC headset too, as well.
And if I may, the thing that's really excited me most about virtual desktop and my experience with it hasn't been honestly playing my PC VR games wirelessly at my house, but it's been leaving my computer on at home and going somewhere else and getting on a different Wi-Fi and accessing my computer and launching stuff remotely. And I was like able to play PC games on my Quest, from a family member's house on the other side of the country by doing that. And it was blowing my mind. And I also have gone to the in-laws and tried to play Half-Life Alyx on my computer at home by connecting the Wi-Fi's. And of course it didn't run very well, but it connected and it worked. And I was like, holy crap, my computer at home is running Half-Life Alyx and I'm here, cities away, and it's playing on this Quest right now. So that has after I've gotten little tiny tastes of that, I want that to get really, really good. So that way, wherever you are, you just jump on a Wi-Fi with your Quest and your whole PC library is there with you.
I remember doing that with my PS Vita, for example. That was a mind blow, dude. Just turning your PlayStation on and you're like,
exactly.
I remember explaining it to people at my work, and they were like, "That does not make any sense." I was like, "Yeah,
crazy."
Yeah.
What do you guys think about those subscription-based computer cloud-based things that are starting to pop up, where you could not even own a PC?
Did
one shut down now?
Yeah, I was the same.
Oculus is saying no.
One just died as well.
Oculus is saying no. Well, okay, so maybe that's something that virtual desktop allows you to do.
They put it in their terms of service that you are no longer allowed to stream off of cloud services, that it has to be a local device within your home.
And that's because your Oculus
what Alex
library
just said, you can't do that anymore, Alex. Right? Well, everything that you just raved about with a family member's house, the Oculus just said, fuck you, Alex. You're not doing that anymore.
No. Wait a second. No. I don't like that.
Guys, we're the world moves forward with technology, right? And eventually people replace their routers and stuff like that. And once everyone's on Wi-Fi 6, I don't think that would probably be a problem anymore, especially if we can get everyone to Wi-Fi 6E, which might take another 5 years, because that's really going to tackle the latency issues. So,
and we can just mod and hack this shit, right? Write some new programs, get somebody else on the case. Boom. Let's just solve these issues.
Boom.
And how ironic is it that despite Oculus's best effort to kill PC VR, that it's going to end up being the Oculus Quest that saves PC VR?
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I think there was someone I was talking to in my Discord about whether it's worth getting a PC, and I was like, it is absolutely worth it. Just when you check out things like Lone Echo and those graphical Half-Life Alyx, you can't ever ignore that. It is an absolute mind-blow game, a benchmark game actually. And I kind of felt that's a lot. Some people I've seen have sort of dropped off from VR a little bit after experiencing Half-Life Alyx, because it's such a high bar that they're like, dude, nothing's coming close to this experience. Which is a shame, because I'm quite happy to reset where I am in terms of graphical content, because the Quest for me is kind of a reset. It was like charging forward high-end PCs, 30 series graphics card, blah, 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 and then you're like, hold on a minute, for $299 pounds, you can then get an all-in-one Quest headset and experience decent virtuality, like very decent virtuality, for example. So yeah, I'm not mad at the Quest. Some people are quite mad at the Quest for what it's done for graphics, you know, like Population 1. Some of the early people who tested that were not happy with the outcome. I don't know if any of you guys were in the alpha testing. I wasn't personally.
No, but Wes made a point the other day that was such a really resonated with me. He said that, you know, the same people that'll bitch about graphics had no problem raving about games 2 or 3 years ago on PC VR that had worse graphics than the Quest does now. The Quest graphics aren't horrible. You know what I mean? Like, they're really good. Like, you're getting in Swarm and swinging around and playing. And I would submit the gameplay trumps the graphics every day. So many games that I went into in my early experiences of 2018, 2019, where you go in and you're like, whoa, this is cool. And you look at your hands and maybe you pick up something and you open a door and it looked beautiful, but the gameplay was shit. It was just boring after an hour.
And probably like, expensive.
It's probably and it was expensive, a tech demo. Yeah. And now we're getting these amazing games that blow your mind gameplay wise. And people are like, just the graphics aren't good enough. And I just want to reach through and I want to slap Scion a little bit, even though I love him. But it's frustrating because I think the Quest is driving VR in ways that I don't know. People on our Discord are saying, yeah, I think it still would have happened. I don't think it does happen without the Quest. There's a finite time that we had for VR to take off.
Do they say that? Do they say that?
Cyan was saying, oh yeah, it didn't matter if the Quest didn't exist, so VR wouldn't have died. I disagree.
I think he's trolling you, dude. I can't imagine that being seen as a real statement because you know, like, don't get me wrong, PCVR is doing great, and then like, for me, the big boom was PlayStation VR for a lot of people, brought a lot of people here today, including myself and I think Wes and
myself and
yourself. Exactly. So there you go then.
And me.
There you go. So what about you, Roots? What's your background?
I just built a PC VR or a PC for 4K graphics or gaming, and then realized it was mediocre. I was like, this is not a big deal. So now you got to dumb down your graphics you got to play this game to get the frames right. And then so I stumbled onto VR and I was like, oh shit. So I went straight into CV1 within a week of finding out about VR. I had one. I already had my computer. And that's the thing that sucks about this whole computer thing right now. I would just, for a lark, I went on looking for VR or video cards yesterday, and nothing. Like I can't, nowhere, nothing, not even the smaller cards, the 1060. That's it. That was the only one I could find available, unless you're going like 12 grand for some 32 gigabyte 3090 bullshit. It's crazy, dude.
People are buying whole new rigs to get a GPU.
That's it. That's exactly it. And that was the other thing I noticed is you could find rigs, and that's how these, you couldn't, no one, the buying a pre-built computer was almost dead a year and a half ago. Everybody was building them or having somebody else build them. Just wasn't, the market wasn't there as much. Now it's like that's the only way you can get those 3080s is through a 3,000 overpriced computer.
So to me, that actually drives the Quest even more.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I have this thought, right? That PC gaming was around before console gaming, right? And console gaming is what turned video games into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, if we're going to have that happen with VR, you know, you got the niche people that love to play on the PC, but you need a VR console, right? So that's why the PlayStation VR and the Quest are going to drive the growth and the adoption of VR, because you just aren't going to have the adoption rates if you stick with PC. And I'm a huge PC VR guy, right? If I could play that exclusively, maybe I would, but this is just the way it's gone in the past, and I feel like this is going to be the fastest way forward for mass adoption.
And here's the thing, dude. Like, when I play games, that game that I really like, kind of like personally, when I personally play games, that game I really like kind of just becomes a way of life for me for the duration of my obsession with it. And, you know, when I first started playing VR, Firewall 0 Hour was that game. I played so much Firewall 0 Hour. Just every day I would wake up in the morning, boom, send the message to the squad mates that I had made by playing it, so much of it. And every day, same squad, like, let's go, shredding constantly. It's like a way of life kind of thing. And with the Oculus Quest, now that the Oculus Quest 2 is out, I am playing Beat Saber this way with my brother, with my dad. I'm playing Hyper Dash with old high school friends that gave up gaming for like a decade. You know, my dad, who never played games from the time I was 6 years old until now I'm in my 30s. His mind was blown when he put an Oculus Quest 2 on. You know, he sent his Quest 1 to my brother, who now is in VR. And like, people are like waking up and like turning games into a way of life. They don't need every game. They don't need the best game in the world to come out. Like, you just need one good one. So that way you can hit up your friend, your brother, your dad, and be like, hey, Beat Saber. And they're like, hell yeah, Beat Saber. And you get in there together and you do it, you know? So anybody who's like expecting much more than what we already have, frankly, is like way out of touch, because we're already here. I'm already here. I'm living in the future now. My family is joining me doing stuff that I absolutely love and totally passionate about for the first time in decades. And we have the Oculus Quest 2 to thank for that. So
I think that's where PlayStation is going to come in though, and it's going to steamroll like a lot more people. You cannot.
100%.
I can't even imagine what that shit is going to do for virtual reality. It's going to be fucking amazing, and all of us here who are doing what we're doing because we're passionate about it will see some more return, because you're going to find good people who are looking for good people, and you know, they're going to find your podcasts, and it's going to be like, shit, dude, where are all these people coming from? And it's going to be PlayStation. Like, literally, I only stepped in London Heist. I sat in a van with a bald guy in a van, and I was like, I want this. That was it. It was just amazing.
London Heist is so sick.
Yeah,
Dude, that game is what turned me. That game made me just blew my mind, and it was all VR all the time after that.
Yeah. 3 days I spent in VR. As soon as I got PlayStation VR, like for 3 days solid, I was in there. And Batman, oh my god, Batman, that fucking hell, man.
Resident Evil. Oh my god, we could go on just like forever. PlayStation's a big deal, man. They're going to come out and they're going to drop the mic on everybody. I know wireless is a big deal, and I really hope they come out with some kind of adapter to make it wireless. But I mean, the adaptive triggers alone. Imagine, I don't know if anyone has used the PS5 controllers, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about, and you know it's going to be a huge game changer. Imagine an aim controller, like an aim 2 and Firewall, but you feel every gun shooting different. You feel the kickback in your finger. I mean, it's just so immersive. Even on a flat screen, that shit makes it just so immersive. And and those controllers look absolutely incredible. Sony dipped their toes in the water, you know, and got 5 million little bytes. And while that's not a lot, it's still 5 million, and that's still a lot of money, right? And it's enough to show that if they really put something amazing out, it's going to get a lot bigger.
Yeah, and you know, PSVR 2 is going to be huge. But because think about this, Oculus Quest 2 pretty much solved the debate. Why is VR not taking off? It's accessibility and ease of use. It's affordable to everyone, and anyone can put it on and use it. So now, you know, these people, all these Quest users, you could buy them and gift them a PC VR headset and a gaming PC, but half of them would you know, put it down within a week because they're not able to use it, despite, you know, all of these high-end games that you can play on it. Well, here's going to come, you know, Sony with PlayStation VR 2, and you're going to have something that's accessible, something that's easy to use, but the games are going to be like PC VR games. Yeah. So you're going to get the best of both worlds. And I think that's going to be a big deal when the time comes.
Yeah, man. That brand alone is going to be huge.
Everyone who didn't get to play Half-Life Alyx will.
Do you reckon they're going to do an orange box, a VR orange box? Do you think that's going to happen?
I think cool, right? I think Half-Life Alyx will definitely be on the PlayStation.
Definitely.
Nice, man.
Makes sense.
Have any of you guys got version 28 yet? Have any of you guys got that on your desktops or anything?
I don't know. How would you? I guess I need to check.
You just go to settings.
I want to do 120 right now.
Yes, you need version 28 to be on the Quest and the desktop though for it to sort of simultaneously work, because I think a lot of people had some issues with version 27. I think it stopped Oculus Link doing anything but 72 hertz apparently when using it. I didn't even notice it, but it seems like version 27 has only been around like a week. It's not been around long, and
been a lot of issues. A lot of people, it broke a lot of their headsets. There are people that are claiming that they can't use their Quests at all because they go into games and it crashes and the frame rate is terrible, and
Guardian issues big time.
Yeah, man.
I had some trouble out of Path of the Warrior last night with crashing. You know, I tried to play it and it crashed twice, and I just moved right on to Dash Dash and it worked wonderfully.
Dude, Dash Dash is pretty damn fun.
Yeah,
had a good time
man.
with that.
yeah.
It feels like Mario Kart, dude.
Do you use my horn?
100%.
Do you use my horn when you play it?
No way. No
What do
way.
you mean, no way?
Of
You love
course I use
swearing.
your horn.
Code for
Of
that?
course I use your horn.
Thank you.
I don't have your horn.
You know who else likes to use his horn?
Oh.
That's good, man. That's good. His mum likes holy shit balls.
Oh, she does.
I need the code for that horn, man. I'll tell you what, if you guys have the PC version of that game and you have a steering wheel, use the steering wheel. So you use the wheel with one hand and then you have your controller in the other, and
It's good.
awesome, man. It is so good.
Wow, I knew it supported it, but I've never tried it.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I've been debating back and forth whether or not do I get the steering wheel now and the haptics vest later, or get the haptics vest now and the steering wheel later.
I was to say, what will Alex recommend?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would recommend the B-Haptics TaxSuit X40 with 40 sensory inputs. This bad boy will have you immersed in ways you've never experienced in virtual reality.
So you would like say, if I can't afford like the gauntlets and all of the other stuff, just the vest alone, you think it's worth it, huh?
Yes, definitely. And you know, I haven't always worked for B-Haptics, and I had B-Haptics for a while before I believed in it.
I was just going to say, get into it. The reason you're the community manager of B-Haptics is because you love B-Haptics before that. So
it started. Yes.
Yeah.
I got to go to CES and meet everybody from B-Haptics, which of course helps, right? Like go to events, meet people if you want to make something happen.
Again, soon.
Yeah, very soon. It was when I played with Half-Life Alyx that it was like ding, like everything clicked, and I was like, oh, okay, this is amazing. And I only had the vest at the time and was using it in a lot of different stuff. The only thing is, and this is insanely typical, you get the vest, and when you get used to having body haptics, you're like, well, I definitely need the arms, like I definitely need the phase piece, because if you're like getting lit up by a machine gun and then like it moves up to your face and it's like numb up here, you like really start to notice a big disconnect. So it kind of becomes a little bit addicting.
You are right with that. You are absolutely hit the nail on the head there, because there was a game I played that didn't have the support for the face, and it was weird because I like to shoot myself in the face when I've got the haptics. Because
is this a cry for help?
No, I like
feels good.
Yeah, it just feels good. I'm like,
You know who else? Who else thinks it feels good?
Do you know who else you like? He likes to get shot in the face. But
he was telling me to like keep it clean before the show. By the way, he's like, "Hey, Alex, let's not go crazy. Yeah, come on."
Fucking hell.
You're the one that's
Well, what are you talking about, man? My mom just loves B-Haptics. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, it's the haptic revolution is here, baby.
So to talk about like B-Haptics on what would you so me personally, I say to people, I recommend the vest, the gauntlets, than the face, and that is more due to comfortability, because the face one can feel okay one day and then maybe not okay another day. Sometimes it just doesn't sit right, because obviously you've got the little motors inside the cover. But I always think of that also in terms of what the game's going to give you in return. It's vest, gauntlets, face.
100%. That is exactly it, in that order. And there's no shame in acquiring them slowly. Like I said, like the vest does a lot, and it's when you get the vest that you understand the value in getting the arms in the face. So I think it's a beautiful progression to start with the vest. And frankly, by the way, the X16 is great. Like if you are on a tight budget and you are dying to have haptics, get the X16. You won't regret it unless you are like Skiva size. You know what I mean? Like if you're a big dude,
Give him 2. Put one on the.
yeah.
That's what Mash Daddy said. He said he's 6'4", and he said he loved the 16, but he said it's just not big
It's a
enough for
little
him.
too small. Yeah. If you're a bigger dude, definitely get the X40. Don't worry about the X16. But I'm like a normal size guy. I can wear the X16 and it feels great and it's awesome. X40 definitely gives you a lot more, but it's a $200 difference, and for some people that is the difference.
Right.
So anyway, there's no shame in any of that. X16 awesome, just the vest awesome. I would not start arms or face, definitely not.
That would be weird, right?
It would be weird.
It would not be ideal, you know. And really, you hit the nail on the head too, GT, when you said like, what does it give you in return? Because like, frankly, I'm not trying to get headshot out there. You know what I mean? Like that should be happening as infrequently as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, in like Half-Life Alyx, there's haptics for having a head crab jump on you, but like I'll play through Half-Life Alyx and not have a single head crab land on my face. You know, so it's like you got. I mean, if you're playing Thrill the Fight, you know, something where you're taking a lot of hits or something like that, then you know the value for it kind of starts to go up a bit. But but it's all
two
good.
things. First of all, do you know who else has crabs on their face? Second of all, native support for The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Is that something that's coming?
I mean,
Don't
I
know.
can't say yes. I can't say yes.
You can't
I would
say
love
yes.
to say
I got you.
yes. I would love to say yes. Typically, the bigger the studio and the bigger the game, the tougher it is to get them on the horn and to get them invested in.
Which is crazy. Which
doing
is
something like this.
absolutely crazy because it's such a. Like, it's a bit like VRB haptics. It is a bit like VR where you love it when you try it, but you've got to obviously be able to try it to then invest in it because it's not a cheap thing.
Yes.
And B haptics is that. And you know, once you've put that shit on and you're using it, it's amazing. It is. You don't want to go without it. You don't want to go without it. And I look forward to future advancements in it as well, because you know this is just the beginning of what I think they're going to achieve. So
imagine those vests, GT, with the like insane haptics of like the PS5 controller, how it's like pinpoint haptics, you know. We're gonna get to a point where not having body haptics is gonna suck, right? Like right now you have these haptics and then you're like, oh, I'm not gonna put them on this time, so you don't, and then you're like, oh, I'm numb, this feels freaking weird, right? But I'll tell you, man, first time I hopped into Half-Life Alyx with the vest, it was over for me too, you know. And then you put on everything.
What
you
the
put on
fuck
the gauntlet,
is that?
the face.
What? He's just literally just pulled in a pint of green shit. Like, what is that?
It's a green cup.
It's just a very green cup.
My lovely wife handed me a coffee from off camera. Isn't that amazing?
What have you got? An iced coffee?
It's an iced coffee.
Hold on, you've got chroma key on. So how is that not invisible? How are you not sucking out of nothing?
I'm on the spaceship, dude. Like, what are you?
Oh, what an idiot I am! Of course.
This is
Man.
great.
So I got to do this real quick. But if you put on all the B haptic stuff and the cyber shoes, it's like full blown. You know, you're in it, man. You're in it. At least that's how I feel.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah,
Cyber Shoes one was really good, like really good. But and I never had a calorie counter, but oh yes, I did actually. I did have a calorie counter. I think I burnt something like 500 calories within half hour running around.
Crazy.
Yeah,
The tournament we did was so much fun. I love like all the organized tournaments, like events where like people from the community come together and play. Like that is like, I live for that stuff. Like I would love to do that all the time.
That was absolutely insane. But I do believe that Roots has got to get going shortly. So excellent. Thank you all for coming together. This little discussion. I will try and do more of these in the future because I just want to promote you guys and make sure people know that your podcasts are absolutely awesome. And
GT, you're the best, dude. You're awesome.
Get out of here.
We love you.
But yeah,
I speak for everyone. We love you dearly.
We do love you, bro.
Virtual hugs. So thank you guys for all getting together today. I hope you have a good rest of the day, and hopefully you get version 28 and we can all check out Airlink, and hopefully it doesn't suck as I've got a funny feeling it's not going to come out of the gate very well. I hope it's good. But yeah, rip virtual desktop for me, because to be honest, I only use it for gaming. I literally only use it for gaming, virtual desktop. I don't do anything else in it, so it will be a case of I probably won't use virtual desktop anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
It is what it is. You already paid for it, so whatever. You supported it.
Yeah, that's true. He's already like enjoyed
It's over.
my
What
money.
else you gonna do? You know, has he got DLC coming? Nah. You did your part.
Paid for DLC on virtual desktop. Right. Thank you. Cheers everyone for watching. Leave any comments and all that other good stuff. Take care. Thank you.
Subscribe.
Bye bye. Oh yeah, subscribe.
Bye.